High-end design is traditionally synonymous with high cost. Most companies finalize a product concept first and calculate the budget second. They build the dream and then hire a team to find the cheapest way to manufacture it. This sequence creates an observable pattern of compromise. Material quality drops. Features are removed. The final product arrives as a diluted version of the original intent. Yet, one organization reversed this entire physical process. They decided on the price tag before the first sketch was drawn. The cost was not a result. It was a non-negotiable starting point. How does starting with a wall produce more innovation than starting with an open field? A creative team begins a project with total flexibility. They explore every material and every complex mechanism. But as the design gains detail, the price of manufacturing climbs vertically. By the time the prototype is finished, the product is too expensive to sell. A furniture designer creates a beautiful chair. Then they spend 6 months trying to shave $2 off the shipping cost. A founder builds a software feature with unlimited scope. Then they realize the server costs will bankrupt the company. The athlete trains without a schedule to maintain maximum flexibility. Then they find they have run out of time to master the fundamental drill. Everywhere we look, the absence of boundaries creates a structural debt that must be paid later. We observe that as freedom increases, the likelihood of a functional outcome decreases. Why does the removal of limits consistently lead to the failure of the finished product? This is where most people freeze. But at Solver's Studio, we go to our toolkit. The Solver's 6. The tool we're going to use for this scenario is reframing and perception. Currently, affordability is being measured as a consequence of the finished design. This measurement creates confusion because the design process ignores the financial requirements until the execution becomes impossible. The tool shifts the evaluation from the output to the constraint, correcting the structural misalignment between the creative process and the budget. Step 1. Isolate the original frame. Document the narrative that perceives cost as a flexible variable to be managed at the end. Compare this assumption against the observed loss of quality when a design must be forcefully cheapened after it is built. By isolating the frame, it becomes visible that the lack of fixed boundaries was actually a liability disguised as freedom. Step 2. Shift the unit of measurement. Perform an inventory of the fixed price points and logistical requirements before the design begins. Replace the goal of flexibility with this set of non-negotiable constraints. After the measurement changes, the constraint is reclassified as a structural asset that provides immediate direction for the creative team. Step 3. Anchor future decisions in the system. Define the product by its entire supply chain, including transport and final assembly. This shift ensures the design decision is based on the efficiency of the whole system rather than the appearance of a single item. Decisions become easier because the criteria move from aesthetic preference to observable systemic utility. Isolate narrative. Shift to constraint. Anchor in system. Now let's apply the same process somewhere else. A professional feels limited by a fixed amount of time in their daily schedule. By applying the tool, they isolate the frame that sees this boundary as a restriction and shift their measurement to using the limit as a guide for prioritization. The target moves from trying to overcome the limit to designing a routine that functions within the fixed capacity of the day. The perceived weakness of the boundary is transformed into a functional foundation for focus. The perceptual error is corrected. The cost is no longer a consequence. The cost is the core constraint. What was misunderstood as a barrier to design is now visible as the structure that enables it. Going forward, innovation is defined by the discipline of working within the established limits. Action is the natural consequence of this corrected focus.